Hello everyone and welcome to the end of day wrap here at Pro Tour Magic 2015. Rich Hagan standing alongside Brian David Marshall.
Oh yeah, what?
Hi.
Hey. Oh.
What are you doing? You busy?
Hey, yes.
What are you up to?
I'm actually just kind of dazzled by the concentration of talent on this page, this page one of the standings listing. It's like basically, every 2 out of every 3 people marked off as sort of like, in the notable or people to watch section of the media guide.
Yes. Yeah, it has been an incredible day one. It has been a day one marked by, in some ways unexpectedly, the coming of red to standard. Because, boy, there was red everywhere in all sorts of flavors. Some really interesting red decks as well.
Yeah, we saw 2 different flavors of red aggro. We didn't see a lot of like the red burn decks or the Boros burn decks, but we definitely saw a lot of 1-drop red creatures. We saw Goblin Rabblemaster in one of the versions. So it's been there've been a lot of little red men attacking. We also saw red. We did see a Boros deck as well. That was pretty interesting.
All right. Why don't we get to the big board and show you the top 20 as it stands right now. So here we are, we'll widen it out for you, and we have 2 players at 8-0. Zach Jesse and William Jensen. At least one of those guys, most people at home will have known a fair bit about. But
yeah, I had a lot of people talking to me on Twitter about Zach Jesse today. So, I'm not even kidding, actually. I had people talking about him on Twitter and really excited about his finish. But obviously, we're talking about Hugh Jensen. Set a record this year. Set a record, 8 Grand Prix top 8s. Breaking his good buddy Owen Turtenwald's record of 7 Grand Prix top 8s in a season. Right. Hall of Famer, freshly inducted at the start of this year.
Right. Then we have Jackson Cunningham, Christian Seibold at 7-1. Now, who is Jackson Cunningham?
Jackson Cunningham is, I believe Jeff Cunningham's younger brother.
Right.
So
Fedge.
Yeah. So Nick Jack.
Yeah, it's not as good. All right. Then we have Greg Orange, 7-1. Owen Turtenwald, he could have been your other 8-0 player, but no. 7-1 he has to settle on. Now, Pierre-Christophe Mondon, he was in the top 8 of Grand Prix Philadelphia. That's how he qualified for here. He said his deck, he was the kind of the 7th blue-white drafter at that table, and his deck looked like it. He said, basically, everyone has to die, and I have to be literally the only person breathing if I'm going to win this one. He lost in the quarterfinals, of course he did. But here he is. That's his easily best day one.
So scale of 1 to 10, you could use your metric system if you'd like. How excited are you for Neil Rigby?
Oh yeah, go Rigby, go Rigby. Oh, yeah. I've known Neil for 15 years. He's my closest friend in Magic. We have done tens of thousands of miles together in cars after PTQ final losses. We have split pre-releases. We have knocked each other out with caustic tars in PTQ top 8. This is his 12th Pro Tour, his 2nd day 2, and he got there only with a 3rd game loss against Raf Levy in the last round of draft. So he went 2-0, lost to Raf, and has 5-0'd constructed. A bit happy, yes.
Neil Rigby, someone not easy or free with a smile, but he was giving them away all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Thrilled to see him there. And it means I'm getting a voice in my ear saying I should dance again for the camera. I think that's not true. Anyway, Neil Rigby is 7-1. Matt Sperling 7-1. Jeremy Desani. Speak.
I mean, just the question is really arising. Randy and I were talking about it in the booth. Is Jeremy Desani at that kind of like Luis Scott Vargas, Kenji Samura, kind of place of dominance where he's just, the Pro Tour is his oyster right now. He's just like, I'm just gonna, keep winning. He's won at every stage along the year.
Well, Nikolai Herzog won 2 Pro Tours in a season. We may be 2 days away from the same thing here. Your Pro Tour Theros champion.
Big difference here.
Yep.
Nikolai Herzog won 2 Pro Tours in a season and lost the Player of the Year race.
Yeah, Jeremy Desani is in very, very good shape right now for Player of the Year. Stanislav Sivka is his nearest challenger, 53 points. It's worth saying, though, that Owen Turtenwald at 7-1, he was basically saying, I have to win the whole thing to beat Jeremy. But even if Jeremy, no, the thing is, if Jeremy finishes top 50-ish, Owen can take the Player of the Year race in to Sunday, win the whole thing, and be a repeat Player of the Year. It is not beyond the bounds of possibility unless you've watched Jeremy Desani play Magic sometime in the last 15 months, in which case it's over.
I'm pretty sure any scenarios Owen or Stan drew up did not involve Jeremy Desani going 7-1 on day 1 of the Pro Tour.
We're on to the far side of the board. Pat Cox and Ben Friedman both 7-1. Great performances by them. Now, Paulavita Dama de Rosa on 6-1-1, quite apart from his ability to dominate a Pro Tour, Willie Adel is not on that leaderboard and is way back in the pace. He is done for the season at 3-5. He has been knocked out, and that means Paulo now has the chance, with a big finish, top 8 would be basically where he needs, maybe top 16, to overtake Willie Adel for the Brazilian World Magic Cup captaincy. Big one. Now, I asked you earlier on who Jackson Cunningham was. Now I need you to remind everyone who Richard Reeves is.
So Richard Reeves is apparently what it reads on the driver's license of one Neil Reeves. Neil Reeves, considered two Pro Tour top 8s, one of the just great limited players in the history of the game. Came back, earned his spot here at a PTQ, and making the most of it.
Absolutely. So then Scott Markison, this is in scorecard order. So this is your top 20 right now. Great job, Javier Dominguez, leading the Spanish World Magic Cup race. Ido Ferran of Israel. 3 more Americans round at the top. You may know Bob Marr.
I have to ask you something. Did you actually say known as Bob because of Dark Confidant?
Ah, probably.
I explained it away as British humor.
Yeah. Seems quite likely I'd have said that. Go Neil, go Neil. Anyway, those are your top 20. But the thing is, the 6 and 2.
You didn't want to do our top 22 and get John Finkel in there, or our top 24, Martin Yuza, David Scharfman, Ivan Flock, Adam Koska,
Raf Levy 31.
Yeah.
Andrea Mengucci 35.
Joel Larson, Dmitry Budakov. Oh, well, I mean. And
Ken Yukihiro, who is someone who doesn't get a ton of press because we're surrounded by giants of Japanese Magic all the time, but he is at 6 and 2.
Fabrizio Ontario is one of the people who's on my short list. Let's keep an eye on this guy this weekend. Obviously just been on a terror of the Grand Prix circuit in Europe.
Back-to-back Grand Prix wins.
So, he's 6 and 2.
Yep, absolutely in the mix. Tomorrow, we come back, we do it all again. We do 3 rounds of Magic 2015 draft featuring Goblin Rabble Masters, I would think.
Sure.
And then we'll play 5 more rounds of Standard featuring Goblin Rabble Masters, I would think.
Okay. I'm totally in.
And then we'll be down to 8 for Super Sunday. 2 more days of this season to go.
World Championships, World Magic Cup.
Player of the Year.
Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Platinum, Gold. I mean, some people playing for silver.
Yeah.
It's a lot on the line. Every match counts. You think back 1 year ago, Jeremy Desani loses a match to Luis Scott Vargas. He is up against the wall. It's his 5th loss. And, Raf Levy takes him out behind the convention center, smacks him around for a little while. It says, snap out of it. Does his best Cher impersonation, right? It says, get your head together. You got 3 more matches of Magic to win. 3 more matches. If you win them, then you know what? You get to come back and play in another Pro Tour. Comes back, plays another Pro Tour. He wins it. And now he's kind of almost a lock for the Player of the Year. So all of these matches tomorrow, every single one of them is going to have huge impact on the lives of everybody sitting down at each of those tables.
Here's an idea. Why don't you join us for it? We'll be back tomorrow for the next 8 rounds, the penultimate day of this incredible season. Thank you so much for being with us wherever you are around the world. For the Pro Tour historian Brian David Marshall, I'm your host, Rich Hagan, saying bye.